Valleyforge State Park, Pennsylvania, 20 miles from Philadelphia. A beautiful shrine for the more than 11,000 men who came here to spend the winter of 1777. General George Washington established headquarters and set up company for his starving army, barely surviving the long, cold winter. These ragged, frostbitten men were America's first GIs. There was a complete lack of decent clothing and food. The weapons so crude that Benjamin Franklin suggested supplying the men with bows and arrows, as a man could shoot 4 arrows as fast as 1 bullet. 2,500 men perished that winter. As spring emerged, Washington constructed a series of forts, and by June had defeated General Howe, leading to the end of the war. Valleyforge, nearly 200 years ago, a significant time and place of importance to the entire world. Valleyforge, August 1969, again a time and place of worldwide interest, the 25th World Archery Championships. Practice day, the day before the tournament. Archers, the very best in the world from every corner of the world, gathered together here at Valleyforge to challenge for archery's championship. Held every 2 years under the rules of the International Archery Federation, or as it is called by archers, FITA. This year's tournament, hosted by the NAA of the United States, which coincidentally is celebrating its own 90th anniversary. Ray Rogers, who hails from the Cherokee Nation of Muskogee, Oklahoma, was here to defend his 1967 world title, the only archer to hold both the world and the United States crown at the same time. A serious challenger was the Texas sharpshooter Hardy Ward of Mount Pleasant. Hardy was the first man to win the national title using a clicker. Hard-working Hardy Ward, the man to beat here at Valleyforge. There were several firsts at this 25th World's Championship. It was the first time a FITA tournament was held in the United States. And it was also the first time a Soviet team competed. One of Russia's best archers, Viktor Sidoruk, was present to put in his bid for the World's Championship. Designer Owen Jeffries of Bear Archery discusses equipment with 15-year-old Johnny Williams and 16-year-old Steve Lieberman, both top Pennsylvania contenders. Jeffries popularized the use of the bow stabilizer, which reduces the torque or twisting of the bow at the moment the arrow is shot. Most of the international archers use the stabilizer, as well as various other individually selected pieces of equipment to complete their particular bow setups, which could be an intricate bow sight or a comparatively simple one, a wrist or a finger sling, and so on. Regardless of style, type of bow, bow sights, or accessories, the entire field of shooters used the aluminum arrow. As the archers warm up and familiarize themselves with the shooting field, old friends renew acquaintanceships, and new friends are made. And still another first for the 25th FITA tournament. Field archery, which originated in the United States and has since become popular all over the world. Because of this international interest, FITA decided to include it in this year's Valleyforge tournament. Field archery offers a change of pace for the target archer. The unfamiliar terrain, set up in the woods, always varying distances, and the challenging aspects of the unexpected, as the archers are not allowed the opportunity to check out the locale in advance. we can look forward to the field archery event taking on even more importance in the future. Tournament day opens with a grand parade of nations. Billowing flags, cool air, and a sun that promises to turn hot join the band and an audience of thousands to greet each country's entrants as they march past the reviewing stand. We are seeing the best archers in the world, saluting the dignitaries in the enthusiastic crowd. 27 countries are represented and range alphabetically from Australia to Venezuela. A wonderful display of sportsmen in peaceful competition. Representatives of the Olympic Commission were present to observe the archery competition, as archery will be a major event at the 1972 World Olympics. It will be the first time in 50 years that archery will again be a major attraction in the World Olympics. As the marchers move up to the starting line, the chairman of the organizing committee, the vice president of the NAA, George Helwig, introduces the president of the International Archery Federation, Mrs. Inger Frith. Mrs. Frith welcomes the archers and spectators and takes this opportunity to offer congratulations on the 90th anniversary of the National Archery Association. For this tournament, the governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania has declared Valleyforge as international territory to be governed to the extent of the tournament by the Federation of International Archery, the FITA. With the raising of the FITA flag, coaches and friends wish good luck to each of the contestants, and Mrs. Frith officially releases the archers, and the 25th World's Archery Championship begins. The World Championship contestants, as always, are chosen by qualifying tournaments sponsored by their own national archery associations, and only the top archers are here at Valleyforge. Because of the international involvement of archers from every point of the globe, the metric system is used to denote distances. The FITA men's round consists of 36 arrows each from 90 meters, 70, 50, and finally from 30 meters. 90 meters is longer than a football field. That is a long way off. The women use the same 36 arrows at 70 meters, 60, 50, and their final 30 meters. In this World Championship, the competitors shoot a double FITA round. Each of their arrows is marked with the archer's name, as 6 separate archers shoot at the same target. The archers are allowed 2.5 minutes to shoot 3 arrows, after which they advance to their target, call their shots. The holes are circled, and finally, they pull their arrows. Competition here among the women as well as the men was really unparalleled. Jim Easton manned the electronic tabulator, and scores were posted within minutes. After 36 arrows, it was Nonya Kozina of Russia with a 285. Only 4 points behind was the doll-like Mayumi Tani of Japan. And taking third place was the Canadian national champion, Dorothy Lidstone, also with a 281. Iowa's Doreen Wilbur was in eighth place with a 268. Between ends, Vicki Cook, 1963 World's Women's Champion, confers with Dorothy Lidstone. Hardy Ward was an interesting study in technique and concentration as he shot one arrow after another into the gold. In the first men's round, shot from 90 meters, Ward went on top, trailed by Herluf Andersen of Denmark. Morten Tonnesen of Norway was third. Ward set a new double FITA record at 90 meters of 536. The sun kept its promise and shone down with brutal intensity. The high humidity with temperatures in the 90s affected some archers unaccustomed to it, but they stayed right in there to the last arrow. And so it went. Records by the dozens fell as these determined archers shot ahead with incredible accuracy. After 102 arrows, it was Hardy Ward in first place with 826. In second place, and pushing hard, was Johnny Williams with a score of 817. And third was Herluf Andersen of Denmark with 814. Graham Telford of Australia was in fifth place with an 802. The 100-degree temperature and the high humidity didn't faze America's Doreen Wilbur, as she hails from Jefferson, Iowa. Doreen was runner-up in the 1968 United States Championships to Vicki Cook, former ladies title holder in the 1963 FITA. Doreen went on to first place in the Ambassadors Cup matches in Canada, and her St. Louis score was a very respectable 2,214. General Washington at Valleyforge had such names as Lafayette of France and von Steuben of Germany, Pulaski of Poland. The names in the 1969 FITA would be as varied. Maria Mazinska, the defending champion of Poland, and names such as Ackerhagen, Sanchez, and so on. Of all the world's top archers, we are seeing the best. Archery has attained such heights of popularity that people everywhere eagerly await the 1972 World Olympics. After 264 arrows, we find Dorothy Lidstone leading with a sizzling 2,176, and Doreen Wilbur close behind with a 2,170. Despite the sun and high humidity, a wind had risen from the northeast and began to seriously affect all those on the shooting line. The wind's velocity forced many to let up time and again because of the strain in holding and attempting to aim, and then shoot with precision. Almost 200 archers competed and were to shoot 57,280 arrows. A grueling exhibition, to say the least. And again, after each end, the archers moved to their targets and called their points. The wind reached almost gale force, and ace archer Dorothy Lidstone lost her hat. But Lidstone kept her cool, if not her cap, and continued to drive ahead. The Americans apply real pressure, and after 273 arrows, it was Hardy Ward with 2,258. Williams was pushing hard with 2,256. And in third place, it was Graham Telford with 2,219. A hot afternoon. The targets at 30 meters. The tempo was increased. The pressure was intense. At this distance, every spectator could see the individual arrows strike. They were asked to hold back applause until the end so as not to disturb the concentration of the archers. The arrows were being pulled and scored after each end of 3 shots. With 72 arrows to go, Hardy Ward, with only a 6-point lead, was being pressured by Pennsylvania's 15-year-old Johnny Williams. Halfway through the day, it looked as if it was all over. Ward was ahead by 22 points. Williams put on every ounce of pressure he had and shot away Ward's lead, and with only a few targets remaining, Johnny tied, then went ahead by 3 points. The largest assemblage ever to witness a modern archery match saw Ward shoot back to a tie. Up stood Johnny Williams, sending one after another into the gold. And Hardy Ward, his fingers throbbing with pain, firing a 10, a 7. Williams concentrating only on his bow, the arrow, and his target. Williams shot a 10 and a 7. Each is a complete study in concentration as he stares at that golden bullseye. The pace quickened, and no one could be sure of their exact standing. Style, technique, concentration, a few of the items that go into the makeup of an archer. Hardy held the bow rigid, an agonizing 30 seconds, his right thumb resting under his chin, his heart pounding, but heard only by himself. As the tournament approached its final minutes, a hush swept over this cherished ground. The tension in the air is almost physical. Can Ward pull it off? His next shot could be the answer. And finally, he released. And Hardy Ward is the new archery champion of the world. The hard-working archers line up for their well-deserved awards. Former world's title holder Ray Rogers escorts the women's champion, Dorothy Lidstone, to the winner's podium. Dorothy, from Vancouver, British Columbia, is the Canadian women's champion archer of the world with a score of 2,361. She also set a new world record at 50 meters for a double feta of 578. The ladies' archery champion, the gold medal winner, Dorothy Lidstone. O.K. Smathers, 1957 world title holder, escorts America's Doreen Wilbur to the podium. Doreen, from Jefferson, Iowa, a silver medal for second place, 2,351. And Doreen went on a few days later to take the national crown right here at Valleyforge. In third place, taking a bronze medal, was Nonya Kozina from Russia. Russia set a new ladies' team record of 6,887. This was one of the surprises of the meet. And Ray Rogers, who placed 7th with a 2,351, accompanied the new champ, Hardy Ward, to the podium. Young Hardy Ward of Mount Pleasant, Texas. Hardy set a new record for the double feta round. Listen to this, 2,423, a phenomenal performance. And the Keystone Kid, Johnny Williams, a silver medal winner with a final score of 2,420, a heart-stopping 3 points behind Hardy. And at 15 years of age, Johnny has a tremendous future. And Graham Telford, representing Australia, was shooting strong and straight with a very good 2,381. Telford also claimed a new double feta 50-meter world's record of 615. Everyone had one thing to say. The 25th World Archery Championship was the most brilliant display of target archery they'd ever witnessed in the history of the modern tournament. Yes, everyone has his own fond memories of this tremendously successful 25th World's Championship. And it is with a warm and sincere thank you to Clayton Schenk, George Helwig, Marvin Kleinman, Mrs. Inger Frith, and to the hundreds of volunteers as we bid farewell to Valleyforge. These have been archery's finest hours, records that will stand for years, memories that will last forever.